Many know that elderberry syrup is really a great immune booster as an antiviral, but it's really expensive to purchase pre-made, especially if you have a larger family or if you're taking it every day as an immune booster. Many people advocate just taking it when you start to feel the sniffles or start to feel, you know, like you're coming down with something. But we like to take it on a daily basis, and since there's 6 of us, I have to do it more economically, and it is so easy to make. Elderberry syrup, just like making rosehip syrup, is super easy to make, and that's what I'm going to show you how to do today. So I'm going to make a double batch. Usually I only make half this size batch, but we're going through it a lot more right now, and so I'm just going to make a double batch. I'll put it in the ice box. It'll be shelf stable for several weeks. We'll go through it before we have to worry about it going bad. I start with, in this batch, because it's a double batch, I start with 8 cups of water. And if you haven't seen elderberries before, this is what an elderberry looks like. They're like hard little, almost like peppercorns is what they remind me of. I will use 4 cups of elderberries. Many recipes that you find will call for 1 cup of elderberries, but the one that I use is a double the portion on that, and I believe it makes it more potent, and that's why I use it. The water is always the same, but in the recipes, generally for a half a batch of this size, it's 4 cups water, 1 to 2 cups elderberry. So that is why I use 2 cups, though. I mean, it's the extra potency of it is an added benefit. Then I like to add, for every 4 cups of water, I add a heaping tablespoon of ginger. You can use ground ginger. You can use fresh ginger and grind your own. That's totally up to you. The other thing you can put in here is cinnamon. My husband does not like cinnamon, so I don't use it, but many recipes do call for some cinnamon. Cinnamon is also a great immune booster, just like the ginger. So what we do in this is we put it on, we bring it to a boil, then we put it off to the side to simmer for 45 minutes. The recipes, depending on what recipe you look at, some will say to leave the lid on, some will say to take the lid off. I typically leave the lid on for the majority of it, and I might take the lid off for the last 5, maybe 10 minutes max, if I think about it, but it's really not that crucial of a step in this particular syrup when you make it. Okay, so now I'm just going to cover it, and I'll be back after it boils and simmers. Okay, so after it simmers for its 30-40 minutes, and that's just, that's just your discretion, however long you feel comfortable doing it, you need to strain it off. You need to strain your elderberry from the syrup. You can let it cool off a little bit, and I typically do. I don't let it, go down to room temperature before I strain it, but I typically let it cool off, but I'm trying to beat the light here. We're losing light, and we're trying to get this recorded kind of late, so I'm trying to hurry here. But down here, you can use whatever strainer setup you're comfortable with. Because I did such a big batch, I use this strainer and I use this bowl. I like this bowl because this strainer, the lip sits on there. I don't have to worry about it coming off, but when I do a big batch, I will have to pour it out of this bowl into another so I can press my berries out. If you make a smaller batch and you have a different setup for the straining, you don't have to worry about that. My strainer here is metal. It's a metal mesh, so otherwise I would not do it hot in a plastic mesh. You want to make sure that you wear clothes that you don't care that you might stain them. And as long as you wipe up your work area right away, if you have white counters or light colored counters, the berry juice won't stain. Now there's still a lot of juice in these berries. I use a flat handle spoon, and then I just press, see that juice coming out of there. Okay, so the next thing I do then, after I bring the temperature down on the elderberry, is I will add raw honey. For this particular size batch, I add 2 cups of it, and then I will stir it in and let it cool completely, and then I will put it in jars. It makes it easy for us to pour each time we want it. One reason you want to let your elderberry juice cool down enough for your honey is so that you're not killing off, especially if it's raw honey, is you're not killing off the medical or medicinal properties from the honey, because the heat will reduce the properties that are in it. So that is one way, and only one way of many ways to make elderberry syrup. There are several different ways. You can do it as a tincture with alcohol, and that makes it completely shelf stable. You can keep it on your pantry shelf. You don't have to worry about it going bad. This particular way does not contain any alcohol, and you do need to refrigerate it. And use it up. You have several weeks before you have to worry about it going bad. But this is a way to partake in it and not, if you have a objection to alcohol. And it's, totally safe for children. So, all right. Let us know if you yourself take elderberry syrup, if you've ever made it before, and you can do that in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell notification, and we will see you tomorrow.